Our first guest tonight is an Emmy-nominated actor you know from his work in the Harry Potter franchise, Miracle Workers, and Weird, the Al Yankovic Story. He is currently starring in Merrily We Roll Along at the Hudson Theater on Broadway through July 7th. Please welcome back to the show our friend Daniel Radcliffe, everybody. I'm so impressed. Look at you. You have all this energy, and then right after this, you have to go and do your Broadway show.
I know, yeah.
Conserve your energy, Daniel.
I don't need to conserve my energy. It's really, when people come and see the show, they're like, oh, you must be so tired. And I'm like, I'm really not. Like, it's very, I think if I was doing a show that I hated for a long time, that would be very draining. But, like, we love it, a sickening amount. So I'm
and I imagine, too, there's an excitement from the audience that you feed off when you walk on stage.
Absolutely. I mean, we are so lucky to have the kind of crowds that we've been getting, and the responses from audiences has been just like amazing. So we are very, very spoiled over that.
This is at the time when it first came out, this was a play that did not work, a Stephen Sondheim musical that did not have a very long run.
Yeah.
And now this is working this time, and it must be, you all must feel, I don't know, it must feel like an honor to have made this Sondheim musical that deserved better actually finally land with an audience.
Yeah, I mean, there's a fascinating documentary that I would recommend everyone watch called The Best Worst Thing That Ever Happened about the original show, which is a really great, like, insight into why things went the way they did. But yeah, we're just, I don't want to, like, because I think there's a lot of recency bias in how we talk and how the show is talked about, and everyone's like, you're the definitive version. It's like, well, there's going to be other great versions of the show, and if we can be a part of showing that this show is wonderful and it is a great thing that, you know, many people can do many great versions of, then we're very happy to be a part of that.
It's a friendship between three people told in reverse over 20 years. So it does have, I mean, the entry point of it does immediately sound a little confusing.
Yes, I guess so. Although it doesn't, like, it's the one thing I tell everybody before they come is it goes backwards.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know that piece of information, you'll pick it up, but they might have the first few scenes, you might go, wait, they seem to just be really angry at each other. Why are they all friends again now? And I did have one friend who apparently was sitting in the audience and heard somebody in the row in front of them, when they got to the last scene of the play, go, it's going backwards. Which I did. I felt, what a bewildering 2 hours it must have been for that person.
Before I ask more about the show, I do want to. Yesterday was your day off, Broadway's day off.
Yes.
And I'm wondering if you caught a peek at the eclipse.
Did, yes.
You
it was
did.
Very exciting.
All right, I'm glad to hear it.
I was doing am I allowed to say that we do pre-interviews? I was doing the pre-interview for this show, and then I said, no, we don't. This is all there. But and then I said, like, we've got to go. We both have to watch the eclipse. And it was great. It was I had stupidly not realized that I kind of saw where the path of the totality was.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, we're not in that, so I guess we don't see any eclipse. Not realizing that we still get like 95 or whatever percent it was. So yeah, it was really cool.
I'm a completist. If it wasn't 100%, I wasn't interested.
Nah, it's not an eclipse.
95% to me is like all sun.
Yeah, I'm all about...
That's the whole sun.
I can't wait. Yeah, South Dakota 2042 or whatever the next one is.
Oh,
we're going to be there.
You'll be doing regional theater.
Yes.
And, yeah.
We do Merrily Roll Along there.
Between Off-Broadway and the Broadway run of this show, your child was born.
Yes.
Very exciting. And
Very
so...
Thank you.
Based on that, I'm assuming Sondheim has been a big part of their lives.
It has, yeah. It's, you know, I have one song in the show which is like a patter song, and it's very fast and lyrically kind of intricate, called Franklin Shepherd Inc. And my philosophy with that song has always been that I need to learn it well enough that I could do it standing in a hurricane with people shouting at me. And a good simulation of that is, can you do it while holding your newborn child?
Yeah.
And it was actually, there's a lot of weird noises in the song, so he actually really, like, enjoyed that, I think. Or he, you know, enjoyed it as much as he enjoyed anything at 4 months old. And then, and the true challenge, though, was there's a song at the end of the show which is called Our Time, which is just an incredibly beautiful song, and it is impossible to sing that with your newborn son without bursting into tears several times. It is, but yeah, it's lovely. And you know, I think he's, you know, you start him young on Sondheim, so he's going to grow up with it.
I worry that when he goes to like the first baby music class and they're doing like Old MacDonald, he's like, this song sucks.
This is
this song is very repetitive. Nothing new. There's no new information.
He loves Old MacDonald. He's
Okay.
just got into Old MacDonald, and he does a really good like at completely the wrong moments. It's great.
Oh, he never does it at the right time.
Never does it at the right time. We start saying, "Oh, MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-O," and then we start to get into what the cow does, and he's just going, yeah. It's lovely.
We had to go in the other day where my 2.5-year-old, it was the 6-year-old's birthday, and she was singing Happy Birthday, but never getting to the name. So it was just like, Happy Birthday to you, and then just that over and over. I were like, somebody unplug her.
See, these are the moments that, like, it sounds terrible, but at the time, but you're like, God, you're adorable.
Oh, it's the best.
Like, yeah, it's the best, yeah.
Now, but you also, your parents played Sondheim for you, which is a little uncommon.
I guess so. I didn't realize that not everybody was listening to Sondheim on road trips. But there was a lot of Sondheim in the car, not particularly Merrily We Roll Along, because of the way that show started, it didn't get the kind of cult status in England that it did over here, I think. But Company was played in the car constantly, and I love that score. Company, Follies, I mean, and also just a lot of like Kander and Ebb, so a lot of Chicago, a lot of Cabaret. Chicago terrified me as a child before I had seen it. Cell Block Tango, I was like, these women are gonna kill me. But I feel very fortunate, and it is a very cool thing to now be doing Sondheim on stage, and they've come and seen me in the show, and yeah, it's lovely.
You like to know when your parents are coming.
Yes.
But you don't like to know when, say, friends or celebrity guests, I guess, are coming.
Celebrity, or even, like, generally, I don't like to know when friends are in if I can avoid it, but there's normally a practical reason that you have to, because you're gonna see them after. But with like, we had Martin Short and Meryl Streep came to the show the other day, and every time, like, a joke didn't land, I was like, Martin Short just saw you blow that. So, like, I really prefer to not know when people are in. But when my mum and dad are in, it's like, I can't screw up, and they're gonna love it. I could do my worst show ever, and they will love it.
That's the best kind of parents.
Yeah,
you need that because then you know, then they can go tell Marty Short. You know what usually goes better.
It's funny because sometimes. My dad, like most people say, if you say to them, oh, the audience tonight was like a little bit like not as vocal or whatever, people kind of go, oh no, they were great, it was great, people loved it. And a couple of times ago, my dad came and I said, the audience seemed to not be as into it tonight. And he was like, no, they weren't, were they? It was weird.
I have both a supportive dad and also one who would say exactly that.
Yeah, great.
They were a little soft. I'm like, uh-huh.
Yeah.
What about your director told you, suggested, I should say, you make eye contact with audience members?
Well, this was particular. So for the first number of the show, we all come out, and it's one of the only songs that the whole company's on stage, and we are singing sort of facing out to you, the audience. And when we were off Broadway, it was a 200-seater house, so the front row, I'm here, the front row is there. And you would sometimes come out and start making eye contact with people, and you see people being like, no, I don't want to see that. But a thing that I enjoy doing now, because it is inherently awkward to like sing at somebody, I find. I like to pick, and also when you're in a bigger theatre, you can't really see past a certain point. But what you can see is binoculars. You can see just the reflection of the rims of binoculars. So I love finding one pair of binoculars in the balcony and just making constant uncomfortable eye contact with them through. And the other day I felt like this was a real, some sort of victory, even though I'm sorry if you're that person watching. But I stared at them and I just saw the binoculars go, ooh. Like get lowered gradually.
It's like somebody it's like a sniper rifle. All of a sudden, somebody turning and going.
Yeah. Yes.
I have a lot more to ask you. We'll be back with Daniel right after this. We're back with Daniel Radcliffe. I have so enjoyed, before you guys opened, the press about this show was so lovely because it was the three of you, and you could tell you genuinely got along, delighted each other, made each other laugh. There's a scene where Jonathan Groff is typing something in a typewriter.
Yes.
And he has admitted that he writes something obscene in efforts to make you laugh.
Yes, often obscene. I literally can't tell you what he writes. Like, it's very inappropriate for TV,
I will
often.
say, there's something extra funny about something obscene on an old-timey typewriter.
I know, it really is. Yeah, sometimes it won't always be that. Like, that I'm typing on the typewriter and then I leave and he comes over for 2 seconds and types something on it very quickly and then I throw the paper at him afterwards. But it's sometimes it'll be just like a comment on like somebody in the audience will have like a crazy laugh, and it'll just be like crazy laugh, or whatever. But recently, at the moment we're doing auctions, so we often auction off the piece of paper, and we are very explicitly have been told by our producers that we cannot auction off the obscene ones because it is for charity, and it's also, you know, there are some kids in the audience. But yeah, generally speaking, it's just one of those. I mean, Jonathan delights in screwing with me for most of the show in a way that I find like, I mean, I adore him, and I don't know how he does it, frankly, because like there's one scene, probably one of his most intense scenes in the show. By the end of the scene, he is full on like on the floor, sobbing, crying, like, you know, it's very, very intense. Most actors before that scene would be, you know, taking a moment to be quiet or get into it or listen to some music or whatever. We are off stage together before that scene starts, and he is sometimes literally tickling me, or just like trying to do. And I have a very specific entrance to make, so I'm just like, I need to hear this cue, and he is just, yeah. But they're both like, yeah, him and Lindsay, I truly, you know, I want to find things to work with them on for the rest of my life. Like, they're both just the absolute best.
And Lindsay said a very sweet thing when she was here that there are people you can tell that show up because they are Harry Potter fans, but they leave Sondheim fans, and that just must be...
Yeah, I mean, that's always been, like, a really nice, like, offshoot thing about my career is that I remember when I did Equus, there would be people who would be like, do you feel weird about people coming to see the show just because you're Harry Potter? And I'm like, I mean, not really, because they're going to see Equus eventually. Like, you know, you know, with Swiss Army Man, with absolutely with this show, like, it's really cool to bring some people who might not otherwise have wanted to see a show to see that show.
I'm going through a really nice thing right now, which is my kids are the age where they're really into the books and they're watching the movies, which, you know, I was at the age when they came out that I didn't see them, and I just want to say, you're very good.
That's not true, but thank you.
I'm not just saying this, I think it's going to work.
I mean, thank you. I disagree with you about my performance in many of the films, but I thank you for that. That's very kind.
That's right. I will say, so I said to my kids today, you were going to be on. I said, do you want to come? And the speed in which they said no, because... But let me explain. I've shown them times, you know, people who've been on the show that have been in something they've loved, and I'm like, look, Daddy talked to, and they hate that it's not the character.
Yeah.
So I would imagine when kids meet you, it probably sways wildly between overwhelmed and wildly disappointed.
Yes, I mean, it often tilts wildly disappointed. I mean, especially because if they're very young kids, they've probably only seen maybe the first 1 or 2 films. Yeah. And so then they have a parent who's my age who's like, it's Harry Potter. And the kid's like, it is not. It is, this man is old. Yeah, so I definitely, I think I probably have that effect on a lot of kids.
Well, of course, like, for example, so this is my son, and he is obviously closer to the age of Harry Potter than you are now. Yeah. But this is him when I read him the books. He dressed up.
Does he get fully dressed up every time you read it?
He just got his Gryffindor, whatever cloak, so that's a big part of it now.
Whatever.
He woke me up. Look, I'm just gonna say it. I don't think there's a difference in the houses. I think there's way too. He literally came to him in the middle of the night because he had this logic problem. He came, he's like, Dad. I'm like, what? He goes, when they show up, they're wearing the cloaks. I'm like, yes. He goes, but the Sorting Hat hasn't picked the house yet. So how are they wearing the Gryffindor cloaks later? When do they get the new cloaks?
I think, if I remember, and it was a while ago, I think we are in sort of neutral cloaks when we first come in, and then, you know, magic.
That's what I told him.
I mean, you can fix a lot.
I like, by the way, you're giving me a hard time, and you're like, magic?
One of the questions we always had on set, because we would look around these beautiful, amazing sets we were on and be like, it's really dirty. Like, why is it... Like, that's an aesthetic choice. When you've got magic, to have, like, a rustic, dirty look is, like, that's a choice you're making.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want it to be dirty.
Yeah.
Lastly, I think we showed you this, but this is... because, again, you say young kids have only seen the first 2. Yeah. They do get scarier, right?
Yes.
And so... But this is the end of the first one, and this is my son, Axel, and he is so scared, and this has made me so happy.
You liar! Kill him!
It's so good.
It's so good. I'm really enjoying it. Congrats on the show.
Thank you so much.
It's so great
pleasure.
to have you here. Daniel Radcliffe. Merrily We Roll Along at the Hudson Theater on Broadway through July 7th. Our next guest is an Emmy-nominated writer, director, comedian, and the co-creator of Chappelle's Show. His latest comedy special, Crazy Good, is streaming now on Netflix. Let's take a look.
Women's social media. It's just a lot of beautiful underdogs. That's in a part of something very dramatic. The entire world's against them. Where they'll be like, when I began my journey. They're all on journeys, by the way, all around the journeys. They're like, when I began my journey, no one believed in me. That's what these girls don't understand. It's not that no one believes in you. No one gives a about anything anyone is doing but themselves. No one's thinking about you. No one's going to bed at night being like, you know who's never going to open a small business? That bitch, Jessica. Good night.
Please welcome back to the show my very good friend Neil Brennan, everybody. Just a couple of bros that like the same color palette.
Can I see a two-shot? Pretty nice.
Pretty nice. Congrats on the special, buddy.
Thank you, buddy.
Before I get to it, did you see the eclipse yesterday?
I did. I gotta say, it was nice as a white person.
Yeah.
It was nice to see the sun get pushed around a little bit.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Because,
Expand on this.
well, I will. White people, we live in terror of the sun.
Mm-hmm.
You're old enough to remember. Do you remember when sunblock began?
Yeah, I kind of do.
People over 40, do you remember when sunblock began? Cover your whole body. But my point is, white people were getting scorched.
Yeah.
We're getting scorched. So and you know who doesn't, like, white people have real problems with the sun.
Yeah.
Like, we get skin cancer 30 times more than black people. And you know, doesn't care. Black people.
Yeah.
I tell my black friends all the time, I'm like, we have real issues. And they're like, yeah, Neil, I'm having a hard time finding my passion for this. You know what I'm starting to realize, if you think about it? The sun is basically the cops for white people. Think about it. Following us around everywhere we go, messing with us because of the color of our skin, killing our cousins for no reason. And then when I tell my black friends that the sun killed my cousin, they're like, well, what was he wearing?
Oh, yeah. Hey, your specials, your previous two, have dealt with mental health in a way that I think was really refreshing for people because it was honest, but it was also really funny. Do you continue to do that?
Yeah. All right, look. Mental health is spread. It was like, it's been kind of the last decade or so, it's gotten more and more mainstream. And now it's into sports, and ESPN is advocating for athletes to have good mental health. And I want good mental health for everybody, but not athletes. Guys, we need our athletes to be total psychos. You don't understand that? You know what I call an athlete with good mental health? An assistant coach is what I call them. What documentary did we all watch during COVID about basketball? The Last Dance, right? Did Michael Jordan seem mentally healthy to you in the slightest? Giant mansion, one chair. A maniac. All the goats are crazy.
Which other goat?
Tom Brady, not well. He tried to retire. He made it like 10 days. Finally, he was like, I don't know these kids. Michael Phelps has 23 Olympic gold medals. You know what second place of all time is? 8. He should be in a padded cell somewhere, Michael Phelps. I remember when he first started, I don't even remember, he got like 6 medals at the Olympics, and he came back and he got bust for a DUI, and then somebody took a picture of him smoking weed, and people were like, I'm worried about Michael Phelps. I'm like, I'm not. This maniac's right on time. That's just a boy who loves his country right there.
What about, do you see it in women's sports as well?
Yeah. The gymnastics should be against the law, probably. Do the figure skater girls seem like they're doing good? They look like they're struggling to me.
Okay.
First of all, it's like the first time they've ever been able to use makeup at those. So they're like figuring it out. Where it's like doll, 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 shock, horror. And then again, it's so dangerous where they're just spinning around so fast that they become like a hologram of themselves. And then they have to stop and act like they didn't just travel through time. And then they finish, and then they have to go sit in that booth with their kidnappers. They're like holding flowers that someone got at the grocery store, like, I'm free to go now, yes, So, you know.
I feel like you've ruined sports. We talked, this is one of my favorite things about your visit.
Yeah. All right. So, guys, Seth and I have known each other 20 plus years, and okay, so he's married with 3 children now. I'm still, I'm less single. We get into that. I think I may have found a forever lady. But she might be a temporary mama.
We just had somebody in a Broadway musical on before you. You sure you want to do this?
Bring him out. So this is why, this used to be the explanation for why he's married and I'm longtime single. It's the difference between him socializing and me socializing.
This is us in a nightclub in like the mid-aughts.
2004.
Okay, here we go.
Start him. What's Neil doing?
Let's find him.
Oh, no.
You know what you look like? You look like a figure skater waiting for your score. But now we have a new photo to show. I went day drinking with Kristen Stewart, and I'm glad you saw this on social media as well.
Yes.
Because I noticed it. She gave me a lesbian makeover. Kristen Stewart dressed me as a lesbian. Multiple people online said me dressed like a lesbian. Neil Brennan. But then you've gone one further. You feel like
and then I restaged it.
Because you're like this isn't close enough. But then this is really, you went the extra mile. By the way, it's not until I saw it on you that I'm like, oh, I am making an idiot's face.
Yeah. Do you not like being a lesbian?
I think I'm surprised by how much I like it.
Yeah.
What a delight it is to have you back. Congrats on the special. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Neil Brennan, everyone. Crazy Good, streaming now on Netflix. And his podcast, Blocks with Neil Brennan. If you ever get your podcast, we'll be right back with Chef George Motz. We're here with George Motz, everybody. Chef and owner of Hamburger America, located right here in New York City. And I am so excited about this. You're going to make us a burger.
I'm going to make you a burger.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this. And what kind of burger is it?
So I'm going to make a classic smash burger.
Okay, and what do you love about a smash burger?
There's no sauce on this burger.
Okay.
That's what I love about it. A lot of smash burgers out there right now. I mean, the original American burger is the smash burger.
Okay.
This is the very first burger. It goes back to the dawn of the hamburger. It's the first American burger. There were no sauces back then. And everybody likes sauces, I know, but there's no sauce in this burger. There is what I like to call the Midwestern trilogy, which is mustard, pickle, onion, and that's it.
Love it.
And that's why you're going to like it.
I can't wait. I already know I'm going to like it. All right, so talk us through it.
So, first of all, smash burger starts with a portioned ball of beef.
Great.
Not a preformed patty.
Okay,
Your preformed patty, it's already preformed.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Second thing you have to do is smash it, right?
Great. This is very remedial so far.
Exactly. But there's actually some method here. Watch this. Ready?
Yep.
20 seconds or so. I've
Okay.
got a cooked patch on there, right?
Just a patch. Great.
Yeah, that's it. So that will make it so it won't stick to the bottom of your spatula. By the way, I want you to feel that.
Okay, great.
There's a 1 pound. You can do. Oh, there we go.
Oh, that's all right.
I'm
just feeling it. All right, great.
I'll do the rest.
The burger, man.
It was a good feeling.
And you have a 15 stool counter
Yes,
in New York City.
I do, yes.
And is that just exactly what you think it should look like when people have a good burger?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's supposed to make you feel good when you sit down at the counter to eat.
Yeah.
It tastes good, it smells good, and also looks good as well. So, a little seasoning, a little secret seasoning on here. It's not actually about this.
Can you tell me about the coffee milk that is on the menu?
Yes, so-
I've never heard of a coffee milk before.
If you're from Rhode Island, no? Yeah, well, okay.
I mean, you did, like, it is a very small state, so you
Yeah.
decreased your
Sorry,
odds.
thank you. Sorry.
Anybody from California?
There you go. The coffee milk is very simple. It's though, if you're in Rhode Island, it's a specialty of Rhode Island.
Okay.
Think of chocolate syrup,
Yeah.
but it's coffee syrup instead.
Okay.
And literally nothing more than milk
Yeah.
and a glass. I teach my kids this all the time. Don't fill up to the top where you put the syrup in.
All right.
Coffee syrup, right?
Yes.
That's it. And it's a little more milk in there. Now we can actually, here we go.
Okay.
I want you to try it. It's very
So it's
basic.
just milk with coffee syrup.
That's it.
It's really good, dude.
It's just, yeah, I know.
It just tastes like, it tastes like
over-milked
exactly
coffee,
what
right?
it is. Yeah. Have you always been obsessed with perfecting a hamburger?
Not always, but the last 20 years or so I have been.
And you've been going around and you've got a book of all the best regional burgers.
Yes, it's called Hamburger America.
Yep.
That's the name of the restaurant. And it's basically, it's a guide to getting yourself around America to eat authentic regional American hamburgers.
And were you surprised at how many different regional hamburgers there were when you first started?
Totally. I couldn't believe how many there were. I mean, it's truly unbelievable.
Was there something that blew you away? Was there a regional burger that blew you away just because you never would have thought of it on your own?
Yes, something called the Butter Burger from Wisconsin.
Okay.
Who's from? Yeah, Rick, I know if you're from Wisconsin, you know what that is. Right?
And so what is a butter? I mean, I feel like
literally-
everything you've said so far is just the ingredients.
Exactly.
So now a butter burger. What would you put in that?
You do the math. It's a burger with
Yeah, butter.
Exactly right.
And it's very, very Wisconsin.
very Wisconsin, exactly.
And you taught a college course about hamburgers.
Yes. Well, I've taught some continuing ed courses at NYU. I've done some stuff at Princeton. I also do consultations around the world for people who want to know more about the American hamburger.
Do you ever think of like what a parent who sent their kid to Princeton thinks when they're like, I'm taking a burger class?
Well, that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. It's not your problem.
I take it very seriously. They should
Yeah,
too,
they should
right?
take it. All right, so now,
ready
is
for
this
this?
an important part to cover it up for the cheese to melt?
Absolutely. You know why? Because I want the cheese to melt before the burger overcooks.
Oh, that's very,
Don't forget
very
that.
important.
I'm going to dope the bun. Next thing. Ready? The trilogy.
All right.
Mustard,
Oh,
pickle,
yeah,
and
mustard.
onion.
Very excited. When you said no sauce, I was worried that meant no, like, mustard.
No.
Okay,
so,
gotcha.
mustard. This is just diced onion. That's all it is, right here.
Okay.
Right? Diced onion, not much of it, and 2 pickle chips. We use on there 2 dill pickle chips, right?
Okay.
This is ready. Ready?
All right, I'm very excited.
You're excited?
I am. So when
too.
people come to your restaurant, is this, I mean, what percentage of it are ordering this burger?
So we have 2 burgers on the menu. We have
Okay.
the Oklahoma fried onion burger, and we have
What
this
is that?
burger.
The Oklahoma fried onion
Yeah,
burger.
so
okay.
actually it's a burger. It's the same ball of beef, but the onions are thin sliced
Fried?
onions are fried, smashed into the burger and fried into the beef. Yeah.
Okay, great.
You're catching
And so
up.
what is is it about 50-50 split, or do most people want the smash?
People, it's 50-50.
Is it really?
Yeah, people,
That's
it's
great.
amazing. People do, they want actually one of each. I feel like right now.
Yeah.
So you see how thin that is.
That's
It's
great.
been smashed, as you know. Now,
Do you, I mean, do you still have a love for like the fat burger? Because like, so sometimes I will go, I'm not going to name names. My father-in-law,
Yeah.
he will. He makes these like big fat patties, and I just like it seems like very like I don't know. I like how fast this
Yes.
goes, and I like a flat burger. Do you also like a big fat burger?
I do, but I prefer to. I tend to gravitate to this burger much more often.
Okay.
Much, yeah.
I'm the amount I want to grab this out of your hand. It's like requiring.
I made it easy to handle. It's in paper.
That's very excited about this. Oh, so good.
It's very straightforward. I mean, it's not supposed to be anything but an uncomplicated burger. I think he ate some paper. Oh, no, you didn't. Good, okay. Just like you do. He looks hungry.
Don't make him think I ate the paper.
He did. That's right.
This is fantastic. Thank you much. Hey, you guys,
Thank you.
Jordan Muggs, Hamburger America, everybody. This is the best burger